Before I begin today's program, let me tell you what this program is and what it is not. This is a program that concentrates on and reports news as it unfolds. In other words, I talk about current events that have already been talked about, summarized, analyzed, and presented before the public. And what I do, I bring the articles before the audience, which is a primarily African American audience, and I analyze them, bring my personal analysis and personal commentary as I read along and talk about the events that are taking place. Having said that, for those of you who have subscribed to Tyrone Bowman Live, thank you, appreciate your subscription, and I do try to answer those in the comment section. For those of you who comment, if you want me to respond, whether you are a foe or a friend, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, doesn't matter with me. If you want me to respond to your comment, type in the comment section, please respond. Now, this is going to be a three-part series here. So let me just get right down to an article that I found as reported by NBC News. The headline reads, Trump increasingly vows to prosecute political foes he says are corrupt if he wins. Now notice the narrative here. He is basically saying, when you translate it, if he loses the election is because somebody cheated, because he can't win on the merits. That's basically what he is saying. So if he wins, then in other words, it was a good election, but he still wants to punish those who oppose him. America as we know it, the Constitution as we know it, the Declaration of Independence as we know it, the amendments to the Constitution as we know it will come to an end if Trump gets another chance to be president of this nation. America will become just like any other nation that is ruled by a dictator. And if you all think this is a joke, you better listen to this article as I read it to you. Over the weekend, the Republican nominee pledged to jail anyone involved in 2024 election cheating. That's in quotation marks. A recent Supreme Court decision could make it possible. So over the past 2 weeks, former President Donald Trump has become increasingly explicit in describing plans to use the Department of Justice to prosecute scores of people he has declared corrupt if he wins in November. This is disgusting. This is not judicial and it's not right. You have a Supreme Court that is apparently, it seems like they are corrupt. They're on the side of Trump no matter what. So they will side with him. That's why basically the Supreme Court has given presidents immunity from any type of prosecution or crimes that they commit while in office. And you know what the sad thing about it is? The judges from the federal level and in between, they played with this man too long. Because anybody else who would have had all these charges brought against him or her, they would not be running for the presidency of the United States of America. They would have not been nominated as the candidate to represent that party. The Republicans are to blame for everything that is happening in this country. And this man has vowed a terrible bloodbath in the streets, meaning basically he's trying to threaten black people, invoke fear, invoke intimidation, tell black people, if you don't vote for me, I'll lock you up. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you are my enemy. Anybody who doesn't agree with him, they are his enemy. Legal experts say Trump will face obstacles. Judges, prosecutors, and juries, for example, could decide to try or convict people if there is scant evidence they committed a crime. It doesn't even have to be a crime. If he deems that a person has committed a crime simply because they oppose him and they decide to exercise their constitutional right and vote for someone outside of him, they are his enemies. There's so much turmoil within the Trump campaign camp, it's not even funny. And all this garbage and trash about the polls are even up, it's a lie. You all need to really pay attention to what's going on and what's happening as the two candidates descend into Philadelphia tonight for their first and only debate. Vice President Kamala Harris doesn't need to debate him because she's already smarter than him. I don't even know why they're having this silly debate anyway. And then apparently it seems like they're trying to take the focus off of Biden and say she's the president. She is not the president. She's the vice president of the United States. She has a secondary role. She does not make policies. She does not enforce policies. She is the president of the Senate. And all this trash and garbage about people trying to rig an election, the only ones who are trying to steal and rig an election are his people. They're telling every lie under the sun. False advertisement, AI generated garbage and trash. You know, AI can be used for good purposes, but in this instance, AI is being used for terrible purposes. Legal experts said Trump will face obstacles. Judges, prosecutors, and juries, for example, could decline to try or convict people if there is scant evidence they committed a crime. But the experts also said the Supreme Court's recent immunity decision gives a president the power to order the Attorney General to indict any individuals they wish without facing legal consequences themselves. Trump has enormous power if he really wants to do it, said Stephen Gillers, a professor at New York University Law School. There would be almost no stopping him from obtaining an indictment. Last Tuesday, Trump released a book in which he threatened to jail Mark Zuckerberg without citing evidence. He accused the Facebook founder of trying to sway, listen to this garbage. He accused him of trying to sway the 2020 election and warned he would do so again in 2024. With what evidence? There's not a scintilla of evidence that indicates that Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, tried to sway the 2020 election. No evidence whatsoever. These are political mind games. This is how these people are attempting to frame a narrative of cheating, a narrative of lying, a narrative of stealing. This is how they operate. So just go back to 50 years and you'll see how these people always attempt to do any and everything, lie, cheat, and steal to win an election. This candidate is unhinged. There is something terribly wrong with this man. And people keep thinking that he's normal. No, he's not normal. He's unhinged. He's out of control. He's not, all his mental faculties are not there. And you all are taking this as a joke. See, in the beginning, they all kept making excuses for him. That's not who he really is. Yes, this is who he really is. This is what Trump said. We are watching him closely. And if he does anything illegal this time, he will spend the rest of his life in prison, Trump said, as will others who cheat in the 2024 presidential election. Well, that should include all the Republicans who are cheating right now. Anybody that's a MAGA-ite and a Republican, he will excuse them from lying, cheating, and stealing. Anybody that's a Democrat or independent and who does not vote for him, who diametrically opposes him, they're deemed the enemy. This is called Marxism. This is called fascism. This is called communism. This is how these states operate. One person is in control. Lenin, Stalin, Hitler, Tchaikovsky, Gorbachev. This is how dictators operate. Kim Jong-un, his father before him. They're the only ones that are right. Their opinions are the only ones that matters. And nobody else can say or do anything that diametrically opposes their propagandist's point of view. This is how China operates. And while America is focusing on stupidity, China is continuously organizing, strategically economically, strategically politically. They don't have fundamental freedoms and rights in China. They made it known they are a sovereign nation and they will continue to govern in total sovereignty, whether people like it or not. They're only interested in making money. Look at how they're conquering Africa. I don't know what's wrong with that. The leaders over in Africa, you allow the Chinese government to come over there and just wave money before you, wave loans and stuff before you, and you voluntarily sign over the rights to diamond mines. You voluntarily sign over the rights to land, to oil. You voluntarily impoverish your people and strip them of every decent and good thing in Africa. Why does everybody want Africa? Because that's where all the world's natural resources are. They don't care about black folk. They don't give a damn about black people. They want to dominate. They want to control everything, everyone, and everybody. White supremacy is real. It is alive and it is well. Keep thinking it's a game. Keep thinking it's a joke. Why do you think J.D. Vance was chosen? Because he's a white supremacist. That's why he was chosen. Demonize Kamala Harris all you want. She's the sitting vice president of the United States of America. She's in a good position to become president in November. And this is the reason why. Get up off your behinds, black folk. Stop letting Trump and everybody else threaten you, intimidate you, and to violate your constitutional rights. Look at what happened down in Florida with the NBA star, Tyrese Hill. Look what happened to him by the racist Spanish police who think they're white. They're immigrants themselves. They almost killed that man before the game. Then they tried to justify it by saying, well, he didn't tell us who we were. If that was Tom Brady, if that was Aaron Rodgers, if that had been anybody that was a famous white person, this whole incident would have never taken place. All this foolishness and stupidity because he did not have on his seatbelt, they almost killed that man down there. And the only reason why they released the full footage, because the Miami Police Department and its director, they know they effed up and they know they're going to pay the price for it. Reassigning officers, the governor's down there trying to plead ignorance. I haven't seen the video. I don't know what happened. That's a bunch of BS. He knows exactly what happened because he was notified. There was no justification for what happened down in Florida. None whatsoever. You can be a black billionaire, a black millionaire, and they will still call you the N-word and try to treat you like that because they think that they're more better than you. And this nation has been polarized by one man for way too long. We're not going back. We're not going back to Jim Crow. We're not going back to slavery. We're not going back to segregation. We're not going back to isolation. We're not going back to racism. We're not going back. That's the bottom line. It don't matter whether people agree with it or not. It doesn't matter what the white folk have to say that are on the racist side and the MAGA side. We're not going back. At a Saturday rally, Trump vowed to crack down on corruption in health agencies like the Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, again without citing evidence, because there is no evidence of any corruption whatsoever. These are outright landish lies. That's what they are. They're outright lies. He's already vowed to free the insurrectionists who caused the melee that happened on the nation's capital. In a social media post afterward, he threatened to carry out election fraud prosecutions against election clerks, campaign donors, and others. Quote, when I win, in caps. Those people, meaning black people, that's what they call us, those people, black people, that in capital letters cheated, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences. Trump wrote, please beware that this legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. How about the white ones? How about the white corrupted political operatives? How about the MAGA illegal donors? And how about the MAGA illegal voters? And how about the MAGA corrupt election officials? Stop being afraid. This makes no kind of sense. It is disgusting. In closing for this segment, last month after the Democratic National Convention, Trump reposted artificial intelligence generated images of his enemies, including Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Anthony Fauci, and Bill Gates. You know damn well Bill Gates ain't going to prison. It's not going to happen. In orange jumpsuits with the caption, quote, how to actually fix the system, close quote. And let me just say this to you evangelical white racist Christians. You are going to answer to Almighty God for your racism, for your bigotry, and for your segregation that you continue to espouse. Especially you, Rod Parsley, and you, Kenneth Copeland, to the biggest white bigoted racists within the evangelical world. You have aided and abated, and you have set by, and you have promoted Trumpology above the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. This is why we black men have made mass exodus from the white racist Christian church, and we're not coming back. We're tired of y'all. We're tired of your racism. We're tired of your bigotry. We're tired of your greed. We're tired of your usury. You all gave ascendance to this type of bigotry to rise in this nation. And the now ousted president of Liberty University, founded by the late Jerry Falwell, his son was so corrupt they had to throw his behind out. Him and his wife can never come back. This is ridiculous in America in 2024, that the same racist battles are still being fought at a time like this. Why? Because people are scared, because they don't want to fight them. Seems like I lost, pardon me, lost some of my feed over here. We fixed that. Okay, we're back up. It makes no sense in this day and age that we're still having to do it. You know, this is a disgrace in this nation. In closing, Trump has also reposted a photo of Special Counsel Jack Smith with the statement, quote, he should be prosecuted for election interference and prosecutorial misconduct. This is called a vendetta. This is called revenge. This is called hate. This is called retaliation. And over the summer, Trump posted photos of former President Barack Obama and former Republican Representative Liz Cheney with texts calling for their prosecutions at public military tribunals. You all better pay attention to this. And you can go ahead and kill Barack Obama if you want to. America ain't gonna be America. Because black people in this nation, we are tired. President Barack Obama served this nation and he served it well. Military tribunals are for what type of people? Remember Benedict Arnold? Do your history. Do your research. Benedict Arnold was a treacherous traitor. Do the research and study for yourselves. And all these statements that he makes, they go unchecked, they go unverified, and nobody stops him because they think it's cute. Never surrender, never quit.